It is Scott Oldford, and today I'm really excited to be able to share with you a methodology around marketing and sales that have both helped me and helped thousands upon thousands of entrepreneurs be able to scale their business. And this really started about 5 years ago now, and kind of discovering this framework. And it's responsible for countless entrepreneurs being able to go from the starting stage to the build stage, being able to go from, really almost no revenue to being able to have a real business, allowing for businesses that are kind of in this launch coaster or this roller coaster, this hamster wheel, to be able to create stability and predictability inside of their business. And of course, allowing the businesses that have scale to be able to scale even more. And so if you don't know a whole lot about me, I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid, since I was 7 years old. By the time I was 16 years old, I had $1 million agency. And by the time I was 21, I lost it all, went from, having nothing, of course, when I was 7, 8 years old, being a first-time entrepreneur, to being a millionaire, losing it all, and then ending up $1 million in debt by the time I was 21. I'm now 30, and I have helped hundreds upon hundreds of businesses scale past 7 figures, most of them multiple 7 figures. And I helped and have helped and love to help entrepreneurs that are coaches, mentors in the transformation space, the education space, course creators, people that essentially sell things on the internet, are able to take their expertise and help other people be able to get further ahead when it comes to their life, their relationships, their finances, their business, who they are as a human being. And so today I'm really excited to share with you this model behind marketing and sales, because marketing and sales is by far one of the most effective ways to be able to, of course, get more energy into your business. Being able to deliver value to more people is pretty much the number one way to be able to grow a business. And that's what business is about. Solving other people's problems, and through solving other people's problems, we are able to scale our business, to be able to actually generate revenue, be able to actually generate profit. So you're more than likely here because of the fact that you want to scale, you want more leads, the fact that a business needs to have more leads and more customers to be able to grow. And more than likely, you don't want to be on what I alluded to a moment ago, the roller coaster or this hamster wheel, right? So the whole roller coaster's up and down, up and down. 1 month your revenue's high, the next one it's low. There's no predictability. And I can't say that there's any certainty in life, but I do know that a business that is more certain, that's more stable, gives us the ability to make better decisions, better choices. And the more choices and decisions that we make that are better, the better our life becomes. And that allows us to have far more well-being, far more happiness, and far more fulfillment. As well as the fact that the hamster wheel, the feeling like you can't get ahead, the feeling like you're always just consistently kind of in this same, it might be the different month, might be a different year, but it's like you're living the same thing, just a little tiny bit, maybe better. And being able to get off that hamster wheel really builds, again, amazing life and an amazing business. And so these two things, a roller coaster and a hamster wheel, are the things that I've helped so many entrepreneurs be able to get off of. Does it take time? Absolutely. Does it take effort? Yes. But over time, we can get off that roller coaster, that hamster wheel. It allows for a much better business. And of course, when our business is better, generally our life becomes better as well. So truth is, when it comes to this online business game, if you're here, I'm assuming more than likely you're an online business owner, you're a coach, you're a mentor, you're a consultant, you're a service provider. You help somebody in the transformation of either their finances, their relationship, themselves, their health. Right? You may be in the education space, or you're a course creator. You have knowledge and or time and or expertise that's valuable to somebody else. And you say, this is what I want to help the world with. This is what I want to help my customer with. And the truth is, when you're growing a business, more and more that time has gone on, attention has become more and more expensive. On top of this, most online marketing, most of the things that are like out there in the world are a lot of the time based upon like hacks and tricks, and this cool new platform came out and this new way of doing things that works, and it's so based upon this belief that there's some shortcut. And more than likely, there's all these different things that you've seen. You've watched YouTube videos, maybe bought courses, and there's this sense that everyone's trying to put you in a box that's not yours, trying to put you in a lane that isn't yours. And so I believe, as a mentor to so many successful entrepreneurs, that we have to build a business that's based on us, marketing and sales that's based on us, so that we're not kind of putting ourselves into somebody else's world, somebody else's perspective, somebody else's box. And this is what happens so much online. This is what happens so much when we go to do marketing and sales. We do marketing that doesn't really feel like it's in alignment with us. We have sales pages that we're like, well, I would never buy that. We have marketing funnels that just simply doesn't make sense for the customers that we actually want to attract. And this is what I want to share with you today, is how to be able to capture and gain attention, to be able to actually market and sell in a way that feels in alignment with you, your values, and who you are as a human being, for being able to bring you the customers that aren't just going to be able to put money in your bank, but people that you actually feel connected with, people that you actually want to help, people that you wake up in the morning and you're like, wow, I get to live this life. I get to live my definition of reality in my life. And marketing and sales has a crazy direct correlation to how successful your business is and how you relate to your business, your enjoyment inside of your business. And, having had all the experiences I've had, even though I'm only 30, in all of business, being paid lots of money for doing things that I don't really necessarily feel a lot of enjoyment with, it feels much better to have a business that's in my lane, that allows me to really allow my gifts, my unfair advantages, to be put out there into the world. And so that's what I want to share with you today, right? Because tips and tricks and hacks and trends will never, ever go against principles and frameworks. Now, the tips, tricks, hacks, and tactics may feel cool, right? The cool new Instagram thing, right? Or the new cool TikTok trend, or the new 4-step process to do this or that, right? They fuel the mind with the dopamine and serotonin to say, well, that means progress. I mean, this person did it, so I can do it too. And that isn't to say that some of these things that are out there to help you grow your business, to be able to kind of go forward, aren't useful. I just believe that principles and frameworks in which we are able to live our lives as well as build our businesses allow us to be in something for the long term, instead of moving from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. That makes it so that we have a difficult time being able to build momentum. And today, that's why I want to share with you my marketing framework, right? And this marketing framework started, to go back my story, in 2015. I decided, somebody one day asked me, and you may have had this experience too. You may have had the experience of someone asking you, hey, can you teach me blank? Right? Can you show me how to do blank? I remember 2015, it was like February, March of 2015. And somebody asked me, it was one of my former clients in my agency, and they said, can you teach me how to do the online marketing stuff that you do? And I instantaneously said, you may have this experience. I'd say, no, I don't teach, right? I don't teach. And of course, a couple of months passed. And then, I started thinking about this, and I wanted to do something new. I wanted to change what it was I did. I was feeling this new alignment. And so, I texted this guy, his name was Tim. I texted him, I was like, hey, here's how much I do it for. But I want to get 22 people. If I can get 22 people, I'll teach you everything I know about online marketing. Now, I didn't know about online coaching or mentoring. I didn't know online programs. I didn't know any of this stuff. Okay. I knew marketing really well. I knew business really well, obviously. I had marketing agencies. I had super large international brands as my customers in my marketing agency, but I didn't know how to do like some high ticket online program. I didn't know what that was all about. And so I got 22 people to pay me $1,099. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is wonderful. And I'm helping these people, and it's easy, and I don't have to have this massive team. And it was like, it broke my mind. It broke my mind. And what I realized was, in my time, in my days of having a marketing agency, I was really good at being able to articulate and understand human psychology. And this human psychology and this sort of like desire to innovate and see what is in my reality and be able to put it into words and into a framework allowed me to, by 2018, to build the framework that I'm about to share with you today. This framework's been used by thousands of entrepreneurs, if not tens of thousands of entrepreneurs. It's been seen by hundreds of thousands, if not over 1 million entrepreneurs across the world. And while I utilize it for online entrepreneurs, this is essentially a principle and a framework that doesn't matter if it's today, doesn't matter if it's 2030, doesn't matter if it's 2050 and we're living in the metaverse. The fundamentals and the principles inside of this framework, as long as we are human beings, will always work, will always stay the same. It's essentially a framework to live around when it comes to your marketing and sales. And once you kind of see it, or at least this is the experience for so many people, is that once they see it, they're like, oh my God, why didn't I think about that? Why didn't I do that too? And let me do that now. So that's why it's really, really, really important. Yes, you know what? I don't just talk about marketing and sales, but marketing and sales is one of the things that if you master, if you create this mastery inside of yourself around marketing and sales, everything else is so much easier. Why? Because everything else requires time and money. And one of the easiest ways to be able to first acquire money is through marketing and sales and helping other people. All right. So this methodology, which I'm about to share with you in a minute, this is going to make it so that if you have high ad costs, we're going to be able to lower them, right? So if you're utilizing paid advertising, we're going to allow you to be able to use it much easier, faster. If you have an issue where you're plateauing, right, where you're stuck at a certain amount of money each month or each year even, you look at 1 year to the other year and you're like, what the heck? I'm doing all the things, but why can't I get ahead? If you're in a place where there's just not enough, maybe the fact that there's enough leads, but not enough of the people that you actually want to work with, right? There's a difference between qualified to work with you and qualified for you to want to work with them. Being able to bridge that gap makes it so that you actually love the people you work with. If you have an issue where you just can't get people to pay you what you want them to pay, like if your cost is $5,000 and people aren't saying, yeah, I want to be able to do that, this is going to fix that problem to allow you to be able to charge what you're worth, not just what your competitors charge, making it so that your competition is actually irrelevant. If people don't see you as an authority in what you do, now, of course, it's only going to make you an authority if you are good at what you do. But this is going to be one of the easiest, most effective ways that in just a short number of years can take you from having really nobody knowing about you to your entire niche and sub-niche being able to look up to you. If you feel like funnels don't work, you have low conversion rates, and if quite simply your marketing and sales feels off, like a lot of times people have this sort of like feeling like their sales page or their marketing funnel or what they're putting out there isn't in alignment with like who they are, isn't in alignment with their values. Maybe it's a timer that doesn't work. Maybe it's the fact that, your business mentor is telling you to do 7 launches a year and you just know that your body can't do that. It might be the fact that, on your webinar, you feel like you're yelling at people, even though really when it comes down to it, you're like a heart-centered, like soft-spoken person. Right? So this is about being able to make it to marketing and sales. You understand the psychology of human beings, and you're able to build a method for your business that allows for you to authentically have the right people come towards you so you can help them. That's really what this comes down to. All right. So it comes into these 3 letters. So I came up with this idea, this kind of methodology. It took a while, but I remember it was super vivid. It was 2017. I decided to go nomadic, kind of travel the world. And I remember for a while, I rented a beautiful house in Malibu, just outside of LA. And at the same time, I rented my at the time dream car, an Audi R8. And every day I'd go for about a 4-hour drive. Right, this is the first time I ever really had a supercar. And it was very, very enjoyable experience. And of course, if you're the type of person that you enjoy driving, which I am, the beauty with driving is that it's its own form of meditation. Like in itself, it's its own form of meditation. Today, I'm a McLaren guy. I have a McLaren, and whenever I want some good deep meditation for a long period of time, I'll go for a 3 or 4 hour drive. And it's amazing what happens through the mind when you're in that meditative state. Sometimes, people use hot tubs. Some people just utilize form of meditation or hypnotherapy. And sometimes I love to use, and at this time of my life, supercars in the mountains of Malibu. So what I realized was these 3 letters. While I was driving, I was thinking about this methodology, and I was trying to articulate what I knew into a framework in a way for someone to be able to understand it better, right? Like that's much of what I've done in my life, is to be able to take things that are true, that are patterns in my case, business, and be able to condense them in a way that are easily understood by entrepreneurs. Because once something's understood and something has clarity and focus, it's much easier to be able to implement it. And I know that the biggest thing that people have an issue with being able to get a business, particularly to 7 figures, is their marketing and sales. Like the biggest hurdle, the biggest thing that almost every online entrepreneur is going to have a problem with is marketing and sales. Every other problem, quote unquote problem or challenge or thing that they need to focus on, is much easier if you're able to spend your time, energy, and money to be able to solve those problems. But if you don't have marketing and sales and you're kind of in this roller coaster, you're on this hamster wheel, you literally can't solve those problems. You literally don't have enough time, you don't have enough money to be able to solve those problems. So ROI, not in this case is not, we're not talking about return on investment. We're talking about relevancy, omnipresence, and intimacy. And today I want to share with you the overview of how being far more relevant, being able to capture someone's attention, and to be able to deeply connect utilizing what I call the 3 C's of intimacy, are able to make it so that you do marketing and sales the way that you want, but you also have marketing and sales inside of your business that make it that don't matter what platform you're on, doesn't matter what year you're in, doesn't matter what you're selling. This can be applied to everything, and it makes it better. You get the short-term wins and the long-term wins as well. So we're going to talk about all of that today. So let's talk about relevancy first. So I'm going to go through relevancy, omnipresence, intimacy in detail. I'm going to bring it together for you so you understand what this might look like inside of your business. And I want you to understand that no matter if you're here and you're like starting out or you have a multi-million-dollar business, this can be and has been applied in every single stage and in different places. And I'm going to go through this with you a little bit later. In different places, it's going to have different effects, right? Like, the business that comes and hires me that's at $5 million a year to help them implement this stuff is going to have a completely different experience of what happens of actually implementing the relevancy, omnipresence, and intimacy method inside of their business. So let's go into relevancy. So relevancy, kind of think about this, really easy to grasp your head around relevancy. If you're still here, what I'm sharing with you is relevant. So I'll give you a perfect example. If you didn't have a business and you had no intention of having a business, you would have probably shut off this / didn't even sign up for it about 10 minutes ago, if not 15. Relevancy is essentially creating a moment that somebody realizes that this person is for me. Okay. And so it's the light bulb moment that allows that person to be like, okay, I'm paying attention now. Right? Relevancy is what allows for our emails when we have an email list to actually get opened or even get into the funnel at the first place. Relevancy is the largest reason why people have really high ad costs. It's one of the biggest reasons why people can't actually get someone to buy from them because it's simply not relevant. And relevancy allows us to create attention, clarity, authority, and demand, right? Demand, of course, everything coming back to attention, right? When we have a problem, a pain, we know the consequences in our life. It's really, really, really easy for something that's going to alleviate that pain to capture our attention. But the biggest problem is entrepreneurs don't do a really good job most of the time at being able to create relevancy. And without relevancy, you have a lack of this. When you don't have clarity, we don't have focus. When somebody doesn't know how you can help them, they can't pay you. When we don't have someone's attention, somebody else is going to take their attention. When we don't have authority, someone's not going to trust us. And if we don't have these things, it's very, very difficult for someone to be able to do business with us, right? Your biggest difficulty as an entrepreneur, again, especially before you have a multi-million-dollar business, is if you are not relevant, people don't know that you're going to exist. And if they do come across you, they don't actually know how you can help them, which kind of makes it difficult for someone to actually say, yeah, I want your help. And so relevancy doesn't really happen by, relevancy isn't just happen by mistake. It's kind of manufactured. Right? We can manufacture the moment where that person that's your perfect ideal customer that you feel connected to has that light bulb moment of saying, this person is for me. And when somebody says this person's for me, almost every objection that's in the book, this costs too much money, I need to talk to my significant other, I need to do this, I need to do that, how about this? They collapse. Because when we have the belief system, when we're looking at solving some problem or some challenge inside of our life, and we see somebody's relevant, it makes it from, well, I don't really want to do this, to what does it take for me to be able to do this? Okay. And so relevancy comes down to about 10 things, but in most focused, it comes down to ensuring that we're talking to the right person, right? Our avatar. It's nothing new if you're in the online space, but having an avatar very well defined and not too broad, right? Being very specific on who we can actually help. Ensuring that we're talking to them at the right time and in the right place. So there's quite literally 3 sets of mindsets, okay? And I call them the sidewalk, the slow lane, and the fast lane. So the sidewalk, the person that's coming to you in the sidewalk, so let's say you're on a phone call with someone and they aren't convinced that they have a pain or problem. If you have to convince somebody that they have a pain or problem there's going to be consequences, they're not even ready to buy. You shouldn't be on a phone call with them. If I'm here with you right now, and I have to convince you that in order to grow your business, you need to have some, maybe not my model, but you have to have some system of marketing and sales to be able to grow your business. If I have to convince you of that, I'm never going to be able to help you. Right, so that's the sidewalk. And then in the slow lane, somebody's like, okay, you know what? I have a problem. There's consequences. I know the pain. Now let me find the person, the process, the methodology, the proof. Let me find something that I believe in. That's something that makes sense for me, who I am as a person. That aligns with my beliefs, my values, who I am, and where I want to be. Right? So that's what's called the slow lane. So again, if somebody's in the slow lane, if you're here and you're in the slow lane, well, hey, you know what? That's a good place to be, because I'm helping you understand the process today. And by the end, you're going to be like, yeah, you know what? I like that Scott guy. I want to learn from him a little bit more. Or you might be like, you know what? He got some good stuff, but just not for me. That's totally fine. And that is messaging in the slow lane. And then in the fast lane, somebody's like, okay, you know what? It is time. I'm ready. And that person's looking for how it's going to work, the solution, the vision of what life's going to be like after, and then being able to help them have that inner self-trust to be able to get past any of the objections or the mindset difficulties of being able to go and evolve as a human being. Okay, so messaging comes down to being able to say the right thing at the right time to the right mindset. So I don't want to spend, if I'm going to be here and do a training with you, I don't want to spend 45 minutes trying to convince you that you have a problem. More than likely, if you're here on this training, you're in the slow lane. You know you have a problem paying the consequences, and you're in the discovery phase of being able to go and actually change the future of your business. And so the problem is that people get the wrong messaging at the wrong time. They say the wrong thing at the wrong time, instead of the opposite of being able to say the right thing at the right time. And when you say the right thing to the right person at the right time, when they're in the right mindset, it creates massive action to the next level of allowing them to become a fast lane lead, which of course becomes customers of ours. So we have messaging, avatar. The next part is positioning. How somebody sees you and perceives you will instantaneously depict upon how they interact with you, and how they interact with you will be the deciding factor most of the time if they see you as being relevant and that they actually want to do business with you. All right, so your positioning has a direct correlation to this, and positioning is generally based upon what unfair advantages you have that allow you to connect with the best people that need to work with you. And I'll give you a perfect example. In my positioning, I don't say, hey, listen, come to me and I'm going to help you build a $100 million business. I have helped build a few $100 million businesses, but that's not my thing. Like, I haven't done that time and time again. But my positioning is the fact that one of my unfair advantages is I'm really good at helping people get to multiple seven figures in their business. I've done it so many times, right? I've done it so many times. So that's one of my unfair advantages. Another one of my unfair advantages is not only can I get the result of it, but I'm able to also be somebody that's not just about let's do the business. I believe in the fact that we have to build lives that are in harmony with our family, in harmony with our health, in harmony with everything. That success isn't just about having millions of dollars in the bank. It's about having an integrated, happy, fulfilling life. It isn't just about hustle. It's about being able to combine different parts of who we are, because that's what builds fulfillment and happiness. And so positioning allows for someone to be able to say, is that someone that my value system, is that somebody that I feel comfortable following? And is this person going to actually be able to help me? Does it smell the right way? Does it look the right way for somebody that could help me? The next part is the offer. All right. And now let me put it this way. If I said to you, hey, listen, for the low price of $7, I can help you grow your business to seven figures. You pay me $7, don't even worry about anything else. And you know what? We're going to get you to seven figures. You'd be like, Scott, I'll love you and all, but that doesn't make any sense. Right? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make sense for some, like if I go to somebody and they're at $3 million a year and they're calling me up, and they're saying, hey, listen, I want to get to 10. Can you help me? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? $7. No problem. And they're like, well, what do I get for $7? And I'm like, well, I'm going to give you a PDF. And they're like, no, like, Scott, no. Like, I want to hire you. I want to be on the phone with you. And I'm just like, nah, you only need the PDF. Well, they might pay the PDF, but in reality, what they really wanted was my help and expertise and mentorship. So ensuring that your avatar matches your offer, that your offer matches the messaging and what you're talking about, along with your positioning. I see so many people, their offers out of alignment with who they are. Their offers out of alignment with who they can even help. So then we have kind of the fifth part here of your levels of consciousness. So there's essentially 3 levels of consciousness that society are working on. And it's particularly inside of business, right? We have willful consciousness, we have intellectual consciousness, and intuitive consciousness, right? So there's 3 levels. And so you kind of got relevancy is based upon you being able to converge these 3. So what does willful, intellectual, and intuitive consciousness mean? What does that actually mean? It means that you would never put a timer. If you're, for example, if you're helping someone on a spiritual level, all right, you may be a therapist or a coach, and you help someone deep on a healing level. and you are talking directly to someone's intuitive consciousness, you would never put a timer on that sales page. But on the opposite, if you're helping someone, hey, listen, we're going to hustle, we're going to get to work, we're going to make it happen. Right? If you're adhering to the willful nature of someone's consciousness and you don't put a timer on the sales page, no one's going to buy. And so the level of consciousness dictates your relevancy to the right people. Now, let me also look at this. If you're selling a willful product, right? So a willful product, here's the 14 steps to be able to go from here to here. That's a very willful consciousness product or offer. But your whole brand is based upon intuitive consciousness or even intellectual consciousness. It's not going to work. On the same side, if you have an intellectual brand, if you have an intellectual product, and intellectual is about analysis and understanding goals, tasks, these types of things, and you're selling to, say, the willful person, and you're trying to go to the willful person with a case study, which is an intellectual consciousness thing to think about, and of course, what's going to happen? They're not going to buy. The willful person doesn't care about that. The willful person doesn't care about the things that the intellectual does, and the intellectual with the person that is intuitive conscious. Sorry, my dog was just, my Cooper was just going from place to place and caught my attention. So we've talked about avatar, we talked about messaging, we talked about positioning, offer, level of consciousness. Of course, this is 6 of the 10 core things of relevancy. I left the other ones out today because I would just keep on going and going. The next is, and I talked about this in positioning, your unfair advantage allows you not only to be able to get your positioning, but it allows you to craft your offer. It allows you to craft who you actually sell to, right? You know, I don't help people that have e-commerce businesses because that's not my unfair advantage. I generally help people that are experts and are good at what they do. They've done what they've done for years. And so utilizing your unfair advantage inside of relevancy makes it so that we're not having to take 10 years to be relevant. We're taking the shortcut of utilizing who you are as a person already. So if you're good on video, then use video. If you're not good on video and you're a great writer, then use writing. And so relevancy comes down to ensuring we have the right avatar, ensuring we're talking to the right person at the right time, the positioning of someone seeing you in the right way, the ability to make it so that somebody understands who you are in less than 7 seconds. Our offer, the level of consciousness that you and your product and offer aligns with your brand, and that you're able to leverage and build up your unfair advantages so that you don't have to compete. Your unfair advantage makes it so that you never have to compete. And relevancy in general makes it so that nobody is ever able to compete with you because it's not comparing two similar things. Because there's only one you. And when you utilize relevancy, it makes it so that you're living in a true blue ocean, in a true ability for no one to really be able to compete with you. And the truth is that relevancy creates the perfect clients, and it also makes it so that you don't need as many leads. Now, what do I mean by that? Relevancy makes, if you work relevancy the right way, if you build relevancy the right way, you don't need a massive audience. You don't need just lead after lead after lead. Because why? Because you're going to have more people that are the perfect fit. You're going to make it so that people are either, yes, this is for me, or no, they're not in the middle. They're all in or all out. You're going to make it so that you get more of the people that are, when they come to you, they're like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready. You don't get people that are, again, on the fence. And so the way I look at it is that with relevancy, you can get more customers out of, say, 1,000 people than the other person might be able to get out of 100,000 people. Because relevancy, ultra relevant brands and personal brands and businesses allow for focus and clarity, and focus and clarity makes it so that you don't have to have all this excess. And relevancy is beautiful when it comes to that perspective, right? So it allows you to find the perfect clients that are motivated and ready. You're also going to have generally the clients that are best, that can actually utilize your knowledge and your help in the best way. And I think in a time where attention is expensive, we need to focus on having less leads, by making it so that more of them are our perfect customers and they're ready to work with us. So we talked about relevancy, and I just want you to know, if you just use relevancy, if you just double down on relevancy in the next year, if you did nothing else besides what I'm talking about, right? And today I'm not going to go into how to build the relevancy funnel, how to make it so that your landing pages and this are all relevant, because again, we're already in quite some time already. But I want you to know that so many people get their business past the startup stage and even the build stage with just relevancy. Just by being able to put the work in on relevancy, they open the floodgates for new clients. Because when somebody's introduced to them, when someone's referred to them, when someone sees them online, it's instantaneous yes or no. This is either, whoa, wow, I came across, I've been wanting this. Versus when somebody comes across you and they're like, oh, I might need to follow them a little longer to know if I'm for them. They're for me. All right, so the next part is omnipresence. So omnipresence, in my definition, omnipresence is the ability to take attention, to get the attention. Because when we have more attention, we have more energy. And we have more energy, we have more money. Right? Energy is money. Money is energy. Whoever controls attention has more energy. And generally, money flows wherever attention goes. Right? And so omnipresence is essentially the act of being able to be in front of someone over and over and over and over and over again. Now, of course, you want to have relevancy with omnipresence, because if you're in front of someone over and over and over and over again, and you're not relevant, that's how you get blocked. That's how you get banned. That's how you make it so that people feel like you're a mosquito, you're everywhere and annoying. Instead of when something's relevant and it's in front of you, it's continually reminding you that, oh yeah, I have that pain, I have that problem. Well, there is a way to solve this. There is you know what? And it makes it so that eventually the person, that your customer, comes towards you, because the attention brings that person closer to their desire to be able to solve that problem or that challenge in their life. Right? And so in a literal perspective, omnipresence improves and drastically changes your conversion rates. I'm talking about open rates on emails. I'm talking about in your funnels, on landing pages, on your webinars, on your launches, on everything that you do. By being in front of someone over and 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 over again, it makes it so that those people are more likely to become customers of yours, and to go from the slow lane to the fast lane to actually becoming customers of yours. It increases drastically trust and authority. It also makes it so that you can sculpt the beliefs and mindset of somebody as they're in your world. And what do I mean by this? Well, it means that you're able to quite literally change someone's mind. We have scientific data to say that somewhere between less than 150 impressions of something will make it so that most human beings will believe something different because of it. And like we know that that's true. So this allows us to create trust and authority and sculpt belief and mindset. Why? Because we live in what I call omnipresence bubbles. Whatever's relevant to us on social media or email, whatever, we end up in bubbles of that. So what we want to do is, when it comes to omnipresence, that's your bubble, that's your potential customer. We want to create them in a bubble where they see you as relevant, and they see you on the different platforms in the different places, but they see you over and over and over and over and over again, which will eventually make it so that person feels like you're everywhere. And we want to make it so that person literally feels like it's meant to be to work with you. And again, this can happen by mistake. But this is about literally creating and manufacturing that moment where that person says, this is meant to be. This is relevant. I want to work with this person. I want to change this in my life. This was meant to be. Omnipresence also allows you to be paid what you're worth. Why? Because when we trust somebody, when they're an authority, when we've helped them shape their belief system about what it is that they're looking to change, we are always able to both get paid what we're worth, as well make it so that that person no longer ever goes and says, well, hey, what about your competitor X? Hey, I'm shopping around. When you're utilizing omnipresence and relevancy, no one's ever going to get on a sales call with you and say, yeah, I'm shopping around. Or, hey, this other person is selling this thing for $2,000 less. You don't hear that anymore. Instead, what you actually are able to do is attract the best customers for you, the best of customers that trust you, that see you as an authority, that allow you to be able to transform their life or whatever it is that they're hiring for you to do. And it becomes easy, and it's one of my sort of methodologies, an additional methodology. It allows you to skip the pitch. It allows you to make it so that it's no longer a sales transaction. It's no longer this person signing the contract. They're simply upgrading to their next level of who they are, and you're helping them. And it no longer feels like they're buying anything. And this is what omnipresence allows us to do. All right. And so omnipresence comes down to what platforms we're on, the frequency in which we're being seen, the timing in which we're actually sharing what we're sharing with them, as well as, again, our messaging, going back to the sidewalk, slow lane, fast lane. All right. So omnipresence may be your email campaign. It may be your Facebook ad retargeting. It may be your YouTube strategy or Instagram strategy, but it's about being conscious about the platforms you're on, how frequent the messages that you're going to share come out, the timing in which that is there. So let me kind of put it this way. If someone's on your email list, are they open to getting more frequent emails or less? If someone's on your email list, it is higher intimacy. So that means that person, right, if they came to your webinar and they went through the whole thing and they're interested, are they not willing to have more of your messages in their inbox, more of their ads on their screen, more social media versus the person that perhaps just downloaded a guide or just visited your website? Should we treat the person that just visited the website for 30 seconds the same as somebody that's opened the last 90% of your emails? Of course not. So it's about being intentional of the platforms we're on, the frequency, on the timing, and the way in which we have messaging. So also, another element. If I'm at the end, if you're here still with me, and at the end of this, and I say, you know what? All right, have a great day. I'll see you later. You'd be like, wait, hold on. You just told me all that great stuff. What do I do about it? And so messaging, if I'm here in a fast lane, container with you, fast lane way here in this training, and at the end, I'm just like, no, that doesn't make sense. That actually doesn't help the person we're with. But at the same time, if I had a blog article with a big buy button at the bottom of it, it probably would never work, because the person that's reading the blog article is somebody in the sidewalk. Somebody that's on the webinar or the training, they're in the fast lane, or at least the high end of the slow lane. Right, so omnipresence, again, comes down to which platforms you're on, the frequency of the messaging that you're going to have out there, the timing in which you're essentially, here's the message that makes sense at this place, right? A sales message for when someone's in the fast lane, a message around proof and process and methodology when someone's in the slow lane, and messaging on messaging on pain, problem, and consequences when someone's on the sidewalk. People really get this one kind of like mixed up in their head often, and it means a lot of different things. It can mean retargeting. It can mean your social media. It can mean organic. It has a lot of depth. Omnipresence has a lot of depth, but when used, it makes your relevancy. It supercharges your relevancy. Right? If you want to make more money, it comes down to more people knowing about what it is you do, and omnipresence makes it so that, again, you don't have to have a lot of people. to be able to help you grow your business. They just keep seeing you as being more relevant every single day. And the more people that see you being relevant each and every day, the more of those people are actually going to turn into customers. All right, so we've gone through relevancy, gone through omnipresence. The last one, intimacy. So kind of think about it this way. Relevancy allows us to be able to have that light bulb moment where someone's like, this is for me. Omnipresence makes it so that that person continually sees us and tell them which time they're ready to actually make a decision inside of their life to be able to go to that next version of who they want to be or what their health needs to be or their relationship or their business. And intimacy is what allows us to never have to sell again, right? Because listen, I'm Canadian. I don't enjoy selling. I don't like selling. I feel a little weird and awkward when I'm selling. Right. And so intimacy is that sort of allows me to fill that gap because I really do appreciate sales. I do appreciate being able to help other people and selling is in that way. But intimacy allows us to do it in what I feel is a much more authentic, effective way. So intimacy creates, as I said, sales that do not feel salesy. Sales that feels like an invitation instead of an interrogation. It allows for ease and flow for your leads to actually come and actually work with you. It feels like the yellow brick road to being able to solve their challenge or their problem that they're trying to solve in their life. It's a value first and human first approach versus just saying the dotted line. Here's all the features and benefits. Here's how to do all of this. Here's how to do all of that. It makes it so that it's, the word is authentic. It's like and real. And customers that really feel connected to you. And there's nothing worse than working with people that you just don't feel that heart connection with. They might pay you, they might be good customers, but being able to work with people that you just feel super connected with, there's nothing like that. It changes the game. It makes it so that no matter how much money's in your bank account, you wake up every day and you're like, I want to keep on doing what I'm doing. And so intimacy comes down to these three things. It comes down to connection, conversation, and community, right? So connection comes down to allowing your authentic self to come out. Connection comes down to sharing who you are with the world, like the actual authentic, unfair advantage version, not the hidden down, turtle-like version. Connection means allowing someone, and this will go to conversation as well, to feel seen and heard for maybe one of the first times in a long time, right? The feeling of being able to, and this goes for connection and conversation right here, but when somebody feels like you care about them, when someone feels like you get them, when that person feels seen and heard, that is going to be one of the largest motivators of that person to actually want to work with you. Why? Because we rarely feel seen and heard. We rarely do business with people that truly sees us and hears us. And through being able to authentically connect with somebody and being able to have a conversation with someone instead of trying to push something onto them, by just simply having a conversation in which your intention is to help them, even if it doesn't help you, creates this connection that makes that person say, yeah, you know what? I need to make this change in my life. I need to take this next step in my life. And because if you're relevant and you've been in front of them over and over already, they're going to say, well, there's no one else I'd want to work with. There's no one else I'd want to be with here. There's no one else I'd want to follow. There's no one else I'd want to be in the trenches with me than you. It doesn't even make it so it's a sales conversation anymore. What it makes it is that that person feels like you're in their corner. And when that person feels like you're in their corner, it's game over. It doesn't matter how much money it costs, doesn't matter what it is, it will happen. They will make it happen because it's one of the largest motivators for a human being. And when we add that with community, when we add the ability for someone to see something larger than themselves. In my case, it is helping entrepreneurs that are evolving humanity and evolving consciousness. That really fires me up. I'm really passionate about that. Over the next 50 years, we have some great and important decisions to make about how we evolve as a species. And the people that I work with, people like you that I work with, are all helping in that. Entrepreneurs change the world, but more specifically in this time, entrepreneurs will change consciousness. That's what gets me excited. That's the community that I wish to create. And I guarantee you, every single person that listens to this, that hears this, they have their own version of that, their own subversion of what lights them up, that gets them out of bed. And by being able to create connection, allowing the people that come in your world to be heard and seen by you, and by being able to make something that is larger than just what it is that you sell, we're able to establish and create a level of intimacy that makes it so that it is an invitation when we're ready to help somebody get to that next level. Instead of feeling like it's pushy, instead of making it feel like it's salesy. And when we do that, we get far better customers. We have far more fun. We generally feel far more inside of our own values and ethics. And it kind of takes away the pressure that sales has for so many entrepreneurs. So let me skip down here. This is how this works, okay, in a real world. Because I'm high level here, and there's a lot of depth to each one of these pillars. There's a lot of depth. I've written a book on this. I have programs on this. I go deep down on everything I said for maybe 30 seconds. There's hours upon hours of depth under each part. But this is what happens. Your ideal customers out there in the world just scrolling Instagram, doing whatever it might be, and they come in the door and we instantly are relevant, right? When we have our relevancy dialed in, boom, we're good. They either came across us and they're like, wow, yeah, I'm looking for that. I'm interested in that, right? If you have your messaging right on that Instagram post or on that website or whatever it might be. And so then, they come into your world and then they keep on seeing you. And maybe they join your community, join your email list, they're understanding what's going on. And then you have this series of, evergreen marketing, right? It could be blog articles, could be your email, your nurturing, could be, the different funnels you have. And then on top of that, you have, launches and promotions from time to time to be able to help, create new things into the world, be able to create energy around something that you're launching or a new offer or an offer that you're talking about or you're opening up again. All while the group of people that are essentially here, are growing and growing and growing. There's just more energy. There's more people inside of your world. And then all of these things, of course, lead to your offer, which lead to them being a customer. And then everything just leads back so that you're continually, this audience of people that you're growing and building, you're becoming more and more relevant to them. You're building more and more connection, conversation, community. And you're able to be seen more and more and more and more. And the more you're seen, the more people you're going to have submit the applications, buy the program, whatever it might be that it is, whatever offers that you have. And it essentially builds this flow that each year allows your business to grow more and more and more and more. All while instead of you being on the hamster wheel or the roller coaster, it's just a general, stable, predictable, growing business. Instead of this entrepreneurial roller coaster, dopamine, adrenaline filled burnout. The ROI method allows for a better business. That's really what it comes down to. Right? And I could go, the benefits of implementing this, the benefits of diving deep into your relevancy, the benefits of diving deep into omnipresence and being able to know exactly what to share at the right time, being able to build the right community that's focused in a relevant way. being able to know the right way to talk from a conversation perspective. And all these things, when you do it right, it makes it so that, ad costs going up doesn't worry you. The algorithm kind of making it more difficult for your message to be seen doesn't worry you. The things that entrepreneurs get scared about are no longer things that you worry about. And this allows you to have, like I said, a predictable business. I'm not going to say a certain business, but a predictable business. It's going to allow you over time to get out of the roller coaster, out of the hamster wheel. Is it going to take a year or 2 years for that to happen? Of course it is. It takes time when you implement something for the results to happen. It takes time, but I've proven this time and time and time again. I have video after video and screenshot after screenshot showing them just how impactful this is when it comes to your marketing and your sales. But not just your marketing and your sales. In my book, The Nuclear Effect, I talk about 6 pillars. They are marketing, sales, mindset, finances, operations, and delivery. By you implementing the ROI method and having effective marketing and sales, this almost kind of works like a seesaw, okay? So if you have marketing and sales and it's starting to work, here's what it does. It impacts directly your finances. So instantaneously, if you don't have a problem anymore trying to get more people to work with you, you're going to have money. All right. Now, what does money allow you to do? Money allows you very easily to go and hire the right people, get in the right procedures. It allows you to be able to deliver a better product, allows you to be able to have time to build a better product. Right? From here, it allows you to have actually a better mindset most of the time, because most issues when they come to the mind are because you have a lack of time to work on what it is that's coming up for you from a mindset perspective. If you solve this problem here, it solves the energetic issue with the rest of the other pillars. Allows you to have a better mindset, allows you to be able to properly take care of your finances, your family, your friends, allows you to take care of your life, right? Because at the end of the day, when you have your finances in order, you have a much easier time being able to craft and build the reality and the environment inside which you're in. It allows you to hire the right people, not just the people you can afford. It allows you to have the best possible product you could ever produce. But all of this stems from being able to have marketing and sales that actually works. So, I've told you this before, I said it before, since 2018, I've trained well over tens of thousands of entrepreneurs through my different formats about this methodology. Out of everything that I've ever created, it is by far the most impactful framework for being able to get somebody momentum, be able to have the marketing and sales that actually works, and be able to have a framework that works no matter where somebody is inside of the growth of their business, as well as what their strategy is. Some people want to do a TikTok channel with an email list. Some people want to do a Facebook group, a webinar, and a guide funnel. I'm not here to tell you that there's one way to do anything. There isn't. There's your way, there's your lane. But when you're thinking about how to do something and you're putting it through the lens of relevancy, omnipresence, and intimacy, it will have a direct impact on the success of you being able to find those people and to attract in those people that you're able to help, the people that you know need you. So there's really 6 places people are when they're building online businesses. We're at this starting stage, build stage, growth stage, scale stage, stabilize stage, and impact stage. And I wanted to talk about how the ROI method works at each place, just high level, right? If you end up working with me, this gets a lot deeper, but let's just go high level. So when you're at the start stage, you're in the validation stage. The most important thing inside of relevancy, omnipresence, and intimacy is for you to be able to know what it is you're actually selling, who you're selling to, and being able to properly use intimacy. Because right here, if you use organic, if you use omnipresence, it's generally not going to work. Right? It's generally not going to work. What you have to use is intimacy and relevancy. Now, once you actually get some scale with that, once you get some momentum with that, you know your product, you know your offer. Now it's about going back and redefining and opening up sort of the Pandora's box of relevancy. And that's in the build stage. And the build stage may include building a funnel, building a proper productized offer now that it's validated, kind of doing a test group for a group program, for example, right, in this build phase. And so then you go and do that for a while, and you may, again, you're utilizing intimacy here as well. Still not really using omnipresence, but omnipresence starts to kick in at the growth stage. When you have a product, you have an offer, you have a business, you know what works, you know how to be able to build it. You go back, you deepen your relevancy, you scale intimacy, and now you start utilizing omnipresence. Omnipresence allows for more people to be able to see you more often. And when you do that, you're going to have more people that actually want to work with you. And then from there, at the kind of second side of growth, we simply go back and forth between the ROI, and we're continually evolving, changing, adding for those pieces as we scale right on up to the impact stage of entrepreneurship and the impact stage of having a business. The cool part about this methodology and framework, not only is the fact that you can use it no matter if you're at kind of the starting stage or the impact stage, anywhere in between, and it kind of like literally has direct, and just to go back to this actually for a second, the person that's going to go scale, the ROI method is going to it's like putting fuel on the fire instantaneously. Right here in the starting stage is going to make someone feel like they have focus and clarity and understanding. Right? Here, it's going to allow someone to feel like they actually have a business for the first time because now they have a system to be able to attract the right people into their business. The person at stabilization, it's going to make it so that their profit margins go up, their conversion rates go up, that they're able to actually optimize what they're already doing to make it even better. Right? And so the cool part of all of this is that in business, there's short and long-term decision-making, right? So a launch, it's a short-term decision-making. I'm going to launch, I'm going to inject some cash into the business, and then I'm going to reinvest that cash back into the business. Well, the beautiful part of the ROI method is that it allows you to have short-term wins and long-term growth and stability at the same time. In business, there are very few decisions that are both short and long-term. Generally, you have to pick one or the two. And generally, when I'm mentoring entrepreneurs, it's about balancing the short and long-term decisions that they make. And so when you're starting out, for example, the short term is that you have clarity and understanding about who you're actually, you have relevancy for the first time, you have relevancy. And relevancy makes it so that you know what's actually going on. And the long term is the fact that you have a method and a methodology and a framework that's going to help you scale with you. Instead of you using it to get to, your first 5,000 a month or your first 25,000 a month, and then you have to change complete tactics and strategies and start and stop, it allows for this consistent growth upwards. Quite literally, this changes and impacts everything you do. Your social media, if you have a blog, your Instagram, your TikTok, YouTube, your paid advertising, your partnerships, your outreach. Everything that you do is impacted by how relevant you are, how often someone sees you, and how much intimacy or connection that they have with you. This is human nature. When we see something that is relevant to us, we pay more attention. What we pay attention to we pay more attention to, and what we feel connected with, we spend more time with. So I've been talking about this stuff. I'm going to take a little water because I think I went a straight hour without any. So since 2018, I've been talking about this stuff even before, but my first program where I helped entrepreneurs with this was the Relevancy Engine in 2018. Along with the Project Nuclear, where I helped just under 100 entrepreneurs that were all at 7 figures implement this. Later on in 2019, my ROI Masterclass, where I helped people in a smaller group program implement this stuff. In 2020, I launched my 5-day marketing and sales workshop that's now been sold tens of thousands of times all across the world in multiple languages, as well as the Skip the Pitch framework that I launched in 2021. I've been talking about this stuff and innovating on this stuff for a long time. I have seen this implemented thousands upon thousands of times, seeing what's worked, what hasn't worked, being able to refine and innovate every element of what I help implement into businesses to make it so that businesses have an easier time, entrepreneurs have an easier time being able to have marketing and sales that actually works. All right, so if you didn't notice, the screen's a little different, I'm a little different, and I'm recording this specifically for those that are here right now that are in Spanish, that read, that write, that help the world, not in English, but in Spanish. See, back in 2019, I started working with Tatiana. If you don't know much about Tatiana, we'll add a link so that you understand her and her story. She has one of the largest brands for personal development and helping entrepreneurs, people like you, in the world, specifically in the Spanish-speaking community. And in 2020, in May of 2020, after working with me for a while, she said, Scott, I want to bring your brilliance, your work around marketing, sales, and being able to scale businesses to my people. And since then, it has been an amazing 2 years. I'm recording this for you, and I recorded this training for you because I deeply believe in the power of entrepreneurship. I deeply believe in the ability for entrepreneurs, people like you, to be able to change the life of so many others and yourself, for your kids, for your family, for your community. And I feel incredibly privileged and blessed to have a business partner like Tatiana that has allowed me to take my work, my books, my methodologies, my frameworks, and share them to so many people that are so hungry to be able to help others. A desire so deeply to be able to impact their families and themselves, that just have this passion and this desire that I've never experienced. And so while I have programs and offers, group programs for helping many entrepreneurs across the world that are in English speaking, because I can't speak Spanish yet, this offer is specifically designed for you. I've worked with Tatiana, and over the last 2 years, we've helped thousands upon thousands of entrepreneurs, just like you, to be able to scale their business. We know that the frameworks and the methodologies that I've built through helping so many entrepreneurs work. And so we come together, we developed something that I believe is a game changer for this market, a game changer for your online business, and is really, really beautiful starting point for us to be able to work together. In 2018, I talked about earlier in this video about my journey. But in 2018, it was my first real ability to take this ROI method work and be able to put it into different things like the relevancy engine, my project Nuclear, where we helped over 100 businesses go past 7 figures in less than 16 months, multiple 7 figures, my ROI masterclass, my marketing workshop. And then eventually in 2021, we launched for the very first time the ROI method in Spanish. And since then, it's done very, very well. But we wanted to take it slow. A lot of the times when you see businesses, they grow a little too fast. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to know what needed to change from English to Spanish. Because there's, of course, not just a language translation difference, but a market difference. I wanted to make sure that this truly worked. And we've seen the testimonials, we've seen the lives that we've been able to change over the last couple of years with the frameworks and methodologies, the content, the support that we've been able to give entrepreneurs to scale up their business to that next level. I'm a big believer that every business needs this. It needs strategy, frameworks, the right content, coaching and mentorship, a feedback loop, and accountability. If you don't have the right strategy, you're just going to kind of be trying to figure it out. It's difficult to grow your business when you're not focused, when you don't have clarity. It's difficult if you don't have the right scientific frameworks, things that you know work. I'm not a big believer of saying, well, hey, you've got to do it this way, but I am a big believer, very big believer of looking at data and analytics and saying, well, this is one of a few ways, and here's what we know actually happens if we do that. I'm a big believer of having the right content, right? Having the right information at the right time based upon where you are in your journey as an entrepreneur makes or breaks or makes it so that you can take 2 years and shave it off and make that 2 months. Coaching and mentorship, of course, allows us to have faster momentum. And if we couple that with the feedback loop of being able to go make decisions, implement, ask questions based upon what has happened, us going, implementing, seeing the data coming back, well, what would you do based on this? And having that feedback loop and that mentorship and that coaching, it's invaluable. It's what allows for much faster momentum. Because there's no like school of entrepreneurship. We are in our own school, in our own life, in our own business. We are schooling ourselves. But there is a much better way to learn from others that have done the same thing. And then take that, combine it with yourself. Your own alignment, who you are, your own business, your own model, and build from that place. And then, of course, accountability of both being around other people in community, as well as having the accountability of a locked in, well, this is what you need to be doing next. Being able to create more clarity and focus so you know what you need to be working on when you wake up in the morning. The number of people that we have helped, that I've helped since I started helping people online. My story starts when I was 7 years old selling eggs on my parents' acreage. But since 2015, I have helped thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of online business owners, coaches, mentors, course creators, and education creators, service providers, and anybody that's in the space of helping someone else. And the beauty is we can help somebody else so easily online. It is truly beautiful how we can help, that you can help somebody, no matter what it is, with your expertise or your service or whatever it might be. But it always comes down to being able to market and sell, deliver and operate, and manage those two pieces, and making sure that you have more people that want to work with you than you can even work with. And as we talked about earlier, I created this for every part of the journey. If you're here right now and you don't have your even first client and you're in the validation phase, what I'm about to share with you is valuable. If you're here and you're in the build stage. You have a program, you have a product, but you're trying to really get it built the way that you want, more people in the door the way that you want. I built that for you as well. You got to realize that the stuff that I talk about, because it's based on principles and frameworks and methodologies, and because it's built from both intellectual and intuitive consciousness, it can be utilized at the start as well as the great scale of the business. My stuff is utilized by people with just one client, and it's just as easily utilized and has been utilized with entrepreneurs like Tatiana that make millions upon millions of dollars a year. So I'm going to keep this straight and plain. I'm not going to add in all these different types of things that you don't need. This bonus, this thing, this thing, this thing. This is more than anything else an invitation to be able to go to your next level in your business. And if you're here right now, you know that you're ready for that next level. And you have a pretty good idea that there's a gap in between where you are today and where you want to be, and the way that we solve that, the way that we fill a gap, is understanding, knowledge, mentorship, being around more of the people like us, being able to have the right mentors and coaches so that we can be where we want to be each day, that we can wake up in the reality that we desire. So the very first thing that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to suggest and invite you to have, is my ROI method training. This is over 12 modules, 50 hours of training, every template, worksheet, swipe file that you need, in my opinion, to be able to scale a very successful multi-six, if not seven-figure business. I'm talking relevancy, omnipresence, intimacy, funnels, the technology setup, proper writing, how to do ads, all of that. And not doing it in a way where it's like one size fits all, but actually being able to bring you in and say, well, based on this stage, this is what you probably should do. And then, of course, you can align that to your own business. But that's not all. Content, I said this a second ago, content's not everything. You got to know what's right at the right time. So I'm also adding in monthly Q&A calls. Myself and Tatiana are going to take time from our lives for those that are part of this to be able to come and answer your questions. On a monthly basis, be able to answer your questions so that you have clarity. And this is going to be live translated. I'm going to allow you to have momentum and understanding, a feedback loop from mentors that have been there and done it. You're going to be in a community of hundreds already there, already existing, of people utilizing these methodologies, allowing you to see what other people do, allowing you to get support and to support others that are like you. One of the biggest elements of being a successful entrepreneur is having a friend group, having a group of people that you trust, that you feel safe with, that you're learning from, that you're really playing this game with. And finally, we're also curating into the future community experts and community sessions to further help you inside of the realm of entrepreneurship. Everything that's here is very focused on marketing and sales, because I know that if we solve your marketing and sales challenges, if we evolve that element, if we change that, your ability to evolve your business and get to that next level is going to be really, really fast. I've seen it time and time again. All right, so that's the second part, is community and mentorship along with coaching. And the third part, right? I have my ROI course that's been purchased thousands of times at this point. But I also wanted to give you some of my best workshop content. This stuff is a lot faster. You're able to watch it, get into it, and have quicker wins. I talked about short and long term earlier. This is about being able to have the short term. So the short term, you're going to get my 5-day marketing and sales workshop. This has been sold 25,000 plus times at this point. This is 5 days, 2 hours a day, everything to be able to plant and have the strategy for your marketing and sales. But the cool part is then you actually have the ability to go into the depth. You're able to plan and then take the ROI course and have the templates and swipe files and the exact how-to. You're going to get my book, The Nuclear Effect, along with the 4-hour masterclass to help you on every part of your business, all 6 pillars of the business. I'm also going to be giving you the 7-day cash campaign. People love this, right? So the 7-day cash campaign is about 15 or so different ways to be able to generate cash over the next week. Because a lot of the time we do need to generate quick cash to be able to inject back into our business or our life. And I wanted to share that with you so that you can get those short-term quick wins. A lot of time when people buy this, they make back how much money they invested with me in the first week. And then they get everything else for the rest of their life. You're also going to get the low ticket intensive. This is a very, very, very useful element, particularly if you have an audience of over a couple of thousand people. I'm going to share with you how to utilize workshops and paid masterclasses, right? Not free, but paid, to be able to generate far more revenue without having to generate more leads. And this is a 12-hour content experience, particularly for people wanting to do that. Now, here's the other thing. On top of all that, all the new premier content, I create workshops and masterclasses that we translate into Spanish, right? Because of course we're wanting to put more and more workshops and masterclasses out into, to the Spanish-speaking community. You're going to get for free. And so everything that's created in the future, you're going to get that all access pass, all taken care of. So you've got strategy covered because you've got the content, you've got the strategy, the frameworks. I'm giving you the ROI method, the 3-lane method. I'm giving you the 6-pillar framework. 3 very powerful frameworks that have helped so many entrepreneurs scale past 6 and 7 figures. We're giving the right content along with accountability through community, as well as mentorship and coaching from myself and Tatiana, as well as others that we're bringing in to help you. A consistent feedback loop to be able to get your questions answered. So I talked about this a few minutes ago. In 2020, in May of 2020, June 2020, we launched the 5-day marketing workshop to the Spanish community. And it was an instantaneous hit. People loved it. People absolutely loved it. And we did our first higher end program. It was at the time a $6,000 program. And the success was phenomenal. In 2021, we launched the ROI course. We also launched a few other things. We are building this infrastructure to be able to help entrepreneurs like you. And today in 2022 and beyond, we've decided that we want to be able to ensure that you have the starting place. That no matter if you're starting out or you're scaling, you have the content, you have the mentorship, you have the coaching that you need. And we come together to take all of that, which, by the way, my lowest offer in the English-speaking community for what I've just told you is $3,000. Right? $3,000 is the cheapest version of what I just shared with you. But I want to make it a no-brainer to come work with us. I want to make it a no-brainer because I know from working with so many entrepreneurs that if I can help you, even just a little bit, you're going to get momentum. And when you get momentum, it gives us momentum because we're able to help you even more. Well, I already revealed the price, so I'm going to go with it. First, when we put this out there, we said, okay, let's do it $997. And we did that. We sold it at $9.97, very successful. And I said, Tatiana, I want to sell it for $6.97. I want to make it dumb for someone else not to come in here. So for the first year, let's sell it for $6.97. We'll worry about all the other stuff later. The upgrade, the larger program, all these different types of things. And so the people that paid $9.97, we gave them lifetime access. That offer's gone away right now. But if you want to get in to this, my suggestion is this: go take a look at the sales page. Look at the testimonials. Look at the offer that we are giving you. I personally believe there is nothing out there like this. This is giving you the keys to the kingdom of being able to scale. And if you're an entrepreneur that's wanting to go from not just being an entrepreneur that works 18 hours a day, but an entrepreneur that's working smart, that doesn't get burnt out. If you are building a business you really love and you want to be able to build it the right way, I personally believe it's going to be the best $697 you've ever spent in your life. And for a year, you get access to all the content, all the coaching and mentorship. And don't worry, we're going to give you an amazing offer later if you want to upgrade the lifetime or you want to renew each year. We're going to take care of you. This is something that we want to do for a long time. I love working with entrepreneurs. I've been doing it pretty much my whole life. And I feel incredibly privileged to be here for you to be listening to me right now, wherever you are, whatever time it is, whatever moment it is inside of your business. I deeply know I can help. And so I wanted to make something that just makes total sense. So here's the next steps. Really easy. There's a link. Click it. Take a look at it. You're already probably there. Get inside. Let's get you implementing. Let's get you on the next group call. Get the support. Start utilizing community. Start utilizing the Facebook group. I really, truly believe that this is one of these offers that are going to keep on generating you more and more money every single year as you're here. You're also getting here at the best possible time. As we get more and more momentum with this, of course, we're going to increase the price with this. And this is one of the best times to be able to get in. Now, I'm also going to say, if you have questions, just hit reply on the email that we've been sending. Hit reply, whatever it is. Hey, will this work for this? Will it work for that? We're here wanting to be able to ensure that this makes sense for you and your business. I know a majority of you that are listening to this, it is a fit. I know $697 isn't a small amount of money. It's not a small investment. However, I do know the amount of momentum that you're going to gain by, instead of guessing, but having clarity, ensuring you have focus and strategy. It's going to be more than worth it. In closing, I appreciate you. I already love you. I don't even know you yet, but I already feel such an incredible connection to what it is you're building, what you're wanting to have more customers for, the life that you're able to build when you have a successful business is truly amazing. And it's really cool that I get to mentor people every single day to be able to experience that. So with that said, I'll see you inside. If you have questions, let us know. All the other details are either around this page, in your inbox. I can't wait to welcome you inside. See you soon.